This is a special message to my father. May he rest in peace. My father passed away in the year 2003. I was 16 years old. And I would like to tell him that your baby boy, Mr. Boogers, he used to call me Mr. Boogers. And I just want to let him know that I made it. And what I mean by made it, I'm talking about high school and college. But the crazy part is that he knew. He knew I was going to make it out of school. He knew I was going to graduate out of high school. And he probably knew that I was going to make it out of college. And also, he kind of also foresaw he also knew that the future wasn't looking so good for me because the way how the world was, before he died in 2003, the way how the world was going, he kind of saw the changes in the world, especially in America. He kind of knew that, there's going to be some type of economic crash. Like, he kind of knew that the world was not going to be the same. Like, what I'm saying? He kind of like the world was not going to be the same. Like, the world that he grew up when he was young, he knew that when I get older, it was going to be different. And he was right. It is different. And he also knew that the economy was breaking down. And look what happened. He kind of knew, like, before he died in 2003, he knew that the United States economy was breaking down. I mean, look what happened. The recession in 2007, 2008, and then you had COVID and all that stuff. A whole bunch of stuff was happening, a whole bunch of stuff happening before he, a whole bunch of stuff happened after he died. So he kind of knew, and also I want to say this. Fathers tend to say important things to their sons before they go. Before they die, they tend to say important things before they go. And I'm glad that he put me on game about certain things, He put me on game. He didn't want me to he didn't want to leave me there in the shadows, not knowing anything. So he kind of taught me, told me some secretive things about himself and what he'd been through. I'm kind of glad he did, I really am grateful. And also, in so many strange ways, he was preparing me for his death. He knew that he was going to die. But before he passed away, before he died, he was like instilling me. He was trying to prepare me for his death, and like it's so little ways. Like, he was trying to prepare me for his death, and not only that, he taught me a few things too. To be self-sufficient, but for the most part, he was trying to teach me to become a better person. He was trying to teach me to stay away from the snares and pitfalls and traps in this world. He was trying to make me into a good person. He was trying to give me character. You know what I'm saying? Not like, I'm big and bad, trying to be big and bad, but he was trying to make me into a decent human being, but also a human being that would stand up for himself and don't take shit from nobody. My father, he represented the old school. What's that old song by James Brown? Papa don't take no mess. That was my father. My father was like that. And this is off topic, but my grandfather on my mother's side, he was like that too. And he was mean. He was very mean, but he knew, but there were some things that he was right about. So he was right when it came to some things. But overall, he represented that archetype too. Papa don't take no mess. So rest in peace to my grandfather. Now back to my father. He represented the same thing too. Papa don't take no mess. And like I said before, fathers tend to say important things to their sons before they go. And I'm glad he didn't leave me out in the dark. And like I said, I'm kind of tearing up right now, but like I said, I miss him. I really do. I miss my old man. I miss my father. Wish he would. Do I wish he was here right now? Yes and no. But the reason why I say no is because he was sick at the time, and I don't want him to suffer in this world, especially the way how the world is right now. The way how the world is right now, I do not want him to suffer in this world. So I'm glad that. So I'm not, I don't want him to suffer in this world. So I'm glad, I'm not glad that he's gone, but I'm glad that he's in a better place because he don't need to suffer in this crazy world. With his sickness, he don't need to suffer in this crazy world. He don't need to suffer in this crazy world right now. So I'm glad that he's in a better place. But do I miss him? Yes, I do, because that is my blood father. He helped gave me life. The man helped gave me life. I'm my father's son, and I'm my mother's son. I am my father's son, and I am my mother's son. Both of those two characters, both of those two people gave me life, and I appreciate them. I really do. And there's one thing I want to say to the young people out there, whoever's watching this video, whoever's watching this video right now, enjoy the time that you have with your parents. I understand that you and your parents might not get along like that. Y'all might not see eye to eye, which, I don't. When it came to my father a couple of times, and, when it comes to my mama too. But there's one thing that I've learned. I've learned as an adult right now. No, actually, I've learned after my father passed away. Nothing lasts forever. And number two, enjoy the time that you have with your parents because you never know when they're going to go. Like I said before, I understand that you might not see eye to eye with your parents, but but overall, they're your parents. They're still your parents. They put a roof over your head. They feed you. They clothe you. And I'm going to be real with you. This is off topic, but you got these kids out here talking about allowances and all that stuff. No, listen, kids don't need no allowance. Your parents are allowing you to eat their food. They are allowing you to put a roof over your head. They are allowing you to clothe you. So if you want an allowance, especially at the age of 15 to 16, get a goddamn job. But that's just my opinion. That's just my motherfucking opinion. Even though I'm struggling right now, but I just thought about it as I've gotten older, like in my late teenage years. Got all these kids out here talking about they want an allowance and all that stuff. Hell, your parents are allowing you to stay in their house rent free. So if you want an allowance, go out there and get a part-time job. But back to business. But back to business, man. Overall, man, enjoy the time that you have with your parents because you never know when they're going to go. You never know. And I realized that when it came to my father. I missed my old man, but I had to realize that his time was up and I have to man up and do what I have to do and survive in this crazy world. Plain and goddamn simple. I should say plain and damn simple. That's it. Plain and damn simple. Please forgive me. Plain and simple. But that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. My father, when I was young, he was my protector. He was kind of like my rock too, my rock. But for the most part, he was my protector. He was my provider. He was my defender for the most part. He was my defender. And if I got a tour with somebody, he'll have my back. Trust me, he would. He will have my back. Because, like I said before, my father represents that archetype. Papa don't take no mess. Don't let no people run over you. You stand your ground. My father, he was all about fisticuffs. I was kind of different. I stood my ground when it came to my words. When it came to my actions too. But if I had to knuckle up, hell, I'll do it. But I'm not so, how can I say, I'm not so gung ho when it came to knuckling up. I'm into, like talking it out or just for the most part, just standing my ground, And I realized too, man, for the most part, when you stand your ground and don't let people run over you and all that stuff, man, you can end fights by not lifting a finger to that person. You can just look at them in the eye, just give them a stern look and just say no. You know what I'm saying? And just keep a strong, by keeping a strong composure about yourself, people will leave you alone. And you don't have to lift a goddamn finger. You just letting people know that, hey, I'm not here for the bullshit. You're not going to run me over. Good luck and goodbye. That's it. Simple as that. But you got some people out there that have to learn the hard way. So you have to, you may have to knuckle up. But it just is what it is, man. That's just life. But overall, my father was there for me, and I'm glad he was there. During my first 16 years of my life, I appreciate him. And for the most part, was my father rich? No, he was not rich. But what made him rich was his time. What made him rich was he spent time with me. He didn't have enough money, but he was there. He didn't have enough money. He didn't have a lot of money, but he bought me things that I need. And it ain't about him buying stuff for me, man. It's all about his time. He was there to show me things. He was there to teach me. He was there to teach me about life, and he was there to show me different things outside of my neighborhood, or better yet, outside of my city. We went to different places, like different small towns, different suburbs, and all that stuff. And I enjoyed his time with him. That's the beautiful part, man. It's time with the person that actually cares for you, with the person that actually loves you as a human being, and cares for you and loves for you. That's the beautiful thing, man. It's time. People want to say money and all that stuff. That's cool and all. But what I realize is the motherfucking time and care and patience. It's the time and care and patience when it comes to a person who actually loves you for who you are, that wants to see you do good, and who wants to see you do better. It's time. And that's what my father showed me. It was time. It was his time with me. It was the most precious thing that he could give me. And you know what? I appreciate that. I really do. I'm glad he was there. And out of all the money in the world, the time that he spent with me is priceless. That's right, it was priceless. All the money that I have, all the money in the world, man, the time that he spent with me was priceless. You can't put a price on that shit. Fuck what everybody else is saying. Fuck all these rich ass millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. The time that what my father spent with me was priceless. Can't put a price tag on that, nigga. You can't put a price tag on that motherfucker. So next, excuse me for cussing. Excuse me for cussing. But that's all I got to say about that, man. So that's all I got to say. Thank you so much and have a good day. Oh, and also, rest in peace to my father. Rest in peace.